Nick Shadow is who I'm playing as on the red team.
Mm. Okay, so talk to me about your experience on Ana and what your goals are and what your questions are for Ana in specific.
So I've been playing Overwatch since 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and it's mostly just been for fun with friends. And for a long time, I have like 300 hours on Moira.
Mm-hmm.
And once Overwatch 2 came out, I felt like I need to expand, and so I gravitated towards Ana because she's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on console, and it was such a mess. And this past summer, I found some new settings that made it possible to do anything with her. And so for 6 months, I've been playing as Ana, and really in the last 3 months, I've been really focusing on Ana. And the things I've been focusing on are trying to find good positioning,
Mm-hmm.
um, figuring out good opportunities to use my nano,
Okay.
and then also I watched Awkward's videos a long time ago, and so I always have damage in my
Mm-hmm.
head.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in my life, I'm trying to negotiate whether or not I'm doing too much damage
Mm-hmm.
versus healing my team.
Okay. Are you?
And then also cooldown usage. I tend to throw my cooldowns out, and when they hit, it feels really great, and when it miss, it feels like, oh, I should have just waited a little bit and been more precise with it,
Right.
or more thoughtful.
Are you still playing on console?
Yeah,
Okay. You've talked about a lot of basically most of like the small on the small important Ana details. You've talked about the nano, you've talked about the cooldowns, you've talked about the positioning. But my question to you is, how do you practice, or do you practice? How do you approach improving? Or that's why I asked you about your goals, because you've told me about improving, but you haven't told me where you want to get to and how you want to get there.
right. So I generally jump into Vaxta before I start and do a little shooting to get warmed up,
Hmm.
and then I'll play a couple quick play games until I feel like I'm ready for comp.
Okay.
In terms of goals, uh, at this point, I would love to just even get into Diamond to be able to hope hopefully find better matches or find better teams to play with.
Okay.
I've hit I've hit Diamond a handful of times, and anytime I get in, I play 2 matches, and then I'm right back in
Mm-hmm.
plat. I lose all those matches. Um, in terms of practicing these things, I'm trying to focus on one specific thing
Mm-hmm.
in each game and try and practice that. That's very difficult.
Yes.
I find that when I'm in a match and things start happening,
Yeah. You
I
autopilot.
just I
You
yeah
forget about it.
I just I forget about it, or the people start yelling at me, "You need to heal more. You need to heal more." It's like, no, but I'm practicing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I also recommend just turning off chat. I don't know if you're a very vocal person, but if you're not playing to win, if you're playing to improve, which is better than playing to win, in my opinion. If the improvement is your goal, then
Yeah.
you shouldn't. It, communication shouldn't be what you're focusing on, because a lot of
Right.
I mean, sometimes your teammates will call for you to make the wrong play, right?
Right.
Um, and also just distracting. So as you said, it's difficult to stay focused and keep your goals in mind, right? So if you can eliminate as many distractions as possible, that's great. That's the best case scenario, right?
Right.
If you enjoy playing with music, then that's cool. If you like chatting with friends, that's cool. But uh, you should, in my opinion, everybody has different um what do you call them? Everyone has different ways of practicing, and like what is efficient to me might not be efficient to you, right? So you have to
Yeah.
do some digging and find out what works for you the best, what keeps you entertained and also helps you like focus and give it your all. But you should have at least I don't know, like maybe depending on how much you play, maybe a few games, maybe 1 or 2 hours where you don't care about coming, you don't care about winning, you just care about I don't know, is my am I keeping my distance? Is my whatever, you pick something, you pick your nade usage, and you look for the nade. And each time you use the nade, you ask yourself, was that a good nade? And maybe then you go in the replay viewer and for like 10 minutes a week, and you look at your nades and you think, what it would a better position for my nade? Like how could I set up for this nade better? Is the timing for my nade good? Did I aim it well? Was I lazy with the placement, right, and so on. Because you can get really really nerdy with it depending on how much you actually want to improve and
Yeah.
shit. But um, it's important that you find a balance between actually practicing in the real sense of the word and playing for the sake of playing and having fun, because they both have their like magic and purpose, and it's up to you to decide how much time and energy you want to put into each one.
Right.
um but anyway, we're gonna try, maybe we, depending on how this code goes, maybe we can try to do half the code and then go into some live games, so I can help you practice something that you would like to practice, right?
I don't know that I can stream from into
Console.
Discord
Right,
from
right,
console. Yeah.
right. I forget about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, anyway, maybe
I
I
can
don't
show
know.
you. I can show you a different code though.
No, I don't have a problem with the map. I just wanted to try to help you practice something in a real game, right?
Sure.
So do you have any questions with Anna so far? So your goal for now is hitting diamond, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions with Anna in specific?
Um, like I think my biggest question is about positioning
Mm-hmm.
and where how do I know where to put myself based on what my team is doing?
Okay. Um, what is, well, to answer that, well, most of the time when you ask yourself how do I play this hero well, you need to look at the hero and you need to try to figure out what that hero is good at, and in some scenarios how that hero, how the playstyle changes based on what your team has or what your team is doing, right? So tell
Right.
me, like being in plat and having like 500 hours or whatever in the game, you should know what is this character good at, what does Ana do well.
Anna is very good at uh, putting pressure on the team with the nades.
Mm-hmm.
Very good at keeping distance from enemies.
Sure.
Um, Sleep darts are very important in terms of preventing pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and like she does good damage and she does pretty good healing.
Mm-hmm. So to sum it up, to make it even simpler, you basically told me that you have good ranged pressure, right? You
Yeah,
would like to sit in a spot and just keep shooting the enemy team and throw your nades and throw your sleeves from a safe distance, right? Because once the enemies get close to you, you're a very fragile hero, right? You don't have any way to run away. You don't have any invincibility, and you don't have any fade. You don't have any lamp, and so on. So once somebody gets on top of you, it comes down to like a mechanical diff, right? You hit the
right.
sleep dart or you hit the shots and you kill the person that tried to push you. But um, and there are scenarios when you would like to like flank Azana or play close to, like for example, if you have a nano, or if you're setting up for a surprise nade and you want to push in very aggressively with your team, you can play close with Ana. But most of the time, like if you want to like build a foundation from the ground up, most of the time you want to find a position that plays to your range. So most of the time, medium to long range, a medium to long range sightline where you can help your team and also pressure the enemies, like you said, by shooting, by throwing your nade, by throwing your sleep, and so on, right?
Yeah,
So that's gonna be what is a good position for me. Well, it's a medium to long sideline where I can see my team and the enemy team. That's a
hmm
good position for you. That's gonna change depending on, for example, what ults the enemy has. So for example, if they have a shatter or if they have, I don't know, a blade or something, you're gonna want to play more passively, because if you don't, and they can't get you with cooldowns, you're gonna die, right? But
right,
in the most general sense, assuming neither team has ults and so on, you want to find a sideline where you can shoot the enemy team and you can shoot your team. It's as simple as that.
right,
And when the enemy team is like moving backwards, they're moving, I don't know, behind a corner or some piece of cover, you can no longer see them, right? And so you need to move forward to get the LOS. And when the
right.
enemy team is pushing towards you and they're getting a bit too close, they're starting to do like, you can tell when a Ryan is too close to you, right? I don't have to tell you that. When you see that the enemy team is pushing, your first instinct should be to back, unless you have like
Yeah,
ults to like stop them or whatever or kill them.
sure.
So um that's like it's not really necessarily push and pull, it's just adapting to what the enemy is doing, and you can pick that in your next 5-10 games or so, and try to observe like what is the core of the enemy team doing, what is the tank and the DPS around him doing. Are they moving forward? In that case, maybe you should move backwards, maybe you should move to a different angle to keep an appropriate distance from them, right? So that can be
Right.
something that needs to be practiced. But And on this map, it shouldn't really be difficult because there aren't a lot of ways that you can get flanked or pressured. You're mostly gonna get pressured from like in front of you. So whenever they're pushing forward, you just need to move back. It's pretty simple on this map, right? On some other maps, it's
Yeah.
a bit more nuanced because there are flank routes and people maybe control different angles and whatever. But that's the general. That's like the general guideline for positioning with Ana. Do you have any questions
Okay.
about it?
No, that all makes sense.
Okay, so for example, how would you position at the start of the game? Let's suppose that you don't know anything about what the enemy is playing or where the enemy is playing. How would you position on this map?
So usually I sit back and let my team come out, and I stay in our spawn and see if there's a widow,
Mm-hmm.
and if it seems clear, then I'll move forward and a bit to the left. So
Yeah, so
down
like
at the
so
bottom
like
of
for
the
example
screen.
here, like a sideline like this, for
Yeah,
example.
I can get into that room,
Mm-hmm.
keep that as cover.
Sure. I mean, Widow is another one of those extreme cases that changes how you play radically, right? But given there's no Widow on the enemy team, you're like pretty free to do whatever you want, right? As long as you keep the distance from the queen. I mean, the only thing that you need to be scared of is them tipping on top of you. And
Right.
other than that, they have very little range pressure. Or like the only range pressure they have is the sim right click. Um, and I mean, this guy can't flank you because it's Circuit Royale. This person does nothing
Right.
to you. Just shoot her out of the sky, 3 shots, and she's dead. Um,
Uh-huh.
right? She's 225, right? And you do
I think
75
so.
a shot. So yeah, you kill her in 3 shots, I think. This
If I hit the
person,
shots.
yeah, right. This
If
person,
I yeah.
this person can flank you because it's Circuit Royale, and then as long as so basically another thing that you can do to make your job easier, like we've talked about like setting the goal of managing your position, and we've talked about like keeping an eye on the core. You don't even have like, sometimes it's difficult to keep track of multiple people, so you can choose one person that is the highest threat to you. For example, the queen. You choose the queen and you try to like always manage your distance from the queen. You want to be close enough to be able to nade and sleep the queen, but far enough so that if she knifes you, you don't die instantly, right?
Right.
So you can also do that. You go into a game, you pick one target, you pick the Genji or the Queen or the Winston or whatever, and you keep your distance from them. And you try to like, you know what they want to do, so you need to not let them do what they want to do to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna talk less and watch the gameplay more from now on.
Sure.
That's fine. That's okay. So like for example here, they move left, you move right. It's fine. Nade is fine. You could also sleep top. So like, this is still fine. Only thing I would say is that you can use your sleep there because nobody's pressuring you. You're too far away for them to pressure you. Nade the queen, nice. That's a good try on the sleep. Good try on the nade. Okay, so now for example, you have your 1-up. It is an instance where I would try to flank and hit a sleep here and maybe a nade, right?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So at this point, right, you only see the sim on your screen. You need to start moving forward.
Okay.
Just because you're starting to not see your team and the enemy team.
Yeah.
And shots. You need to go back, right? There's a queen in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. It's not nothing too complicated. If you want to, you could even like go backwards, so that you allow the enemy team and you force the queen to like turn your back to your team. So like if
Mhm.
the queen pushes you, it's easy to sleep in this narrow corridor, and she also gets shot in the back by your team.
Right.
Because if you do try to go back through main, you have to cross an open distance, or there's a lot of spam, right?
Yeah.
When playing against junk, like the only way that the Junkrat kills you is if he flanks you or if you walk into his main LOS. fine. Fortunately, your Moira doesn't heal you, so you die.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have Nano. How do you want to use Nano?
Um, I have two thoughts in my head.
Mhm.
One is aggressively
Mhm.
to scare the enemy team and push forward,
Mhm.
and then another is if anybody's critical, to save them.
Sure.
But we
Anybody?
have a bunch of ults, Moira, and that's really
I
and
mean,
Reaper's about to have one as
it
well.
will in the lower half of ranks, and even in like masters and shit, people will press Q sometimes. Like if you mean that you don't want to over ult, it does happen.
Oh yeah,
It's not. I mean, it's not ideal, but I would rather you use your nano and you over ult than you never using your nano, because you do
right.
farm your nano quickly.
Yeah.
Especially with the D.Va on this map. So like anybody that is actively fighting is a good target for nano.
Okay.
So for example, here, you don't see anything, you need to start moving. You need to either go here, which is better, or go here. This, into their comp, this is a bit risky, because they have junk and sim. So you
Yeah.
generally don't want to be inside against these heroes. You would rather like keep a long open sight line against them. So I would prefer you going here. This is a bit too long, takes a bit too much time. I would like you to go here and look for an aid. And if you see the D.Va boostering in, or like even pushing the queen, you can nano the D.Va. At this point, you should
Right.
also expect them to have ults, because you haven't seen anything.
Right.
And like if they tire, you're dead. If they
Hmm.
queen ult, I mean, I don't know. If they tire, you can't really do too much about it. You can avoid the queen ult, however. Like you
Yeah.
can start expecting the queen to ult. So you can do two things. You can either play really split, so she doesn't hit like 3 or 4 of you, or you can play really aggressive and focus the queen so she doesn't have the HP to ult.
Sure.
But here you're a bit too passive. Everything that you have done so far, you could have done, but also by like during, like as you were walking forward.
Right.
So you see the Reaper teaming in. You had the right idea, and it does work out. It's fine.
Yeah.
You still win. Okay, you see nothing. You need to start moving. That's unlucky. Nice. You see the queen moving forward. You need to move backwards. You hear the shout. It's like you hear that there are also certain cooldowns that indicate that the enemy is committing. Like shout, coalescence, Valk, in any old or important cooldown like translocator, she translocates in or something. They're gonna start pushing, right? So you can expect that, and you can start moving backwards. So for example, if you wanted to, you could go here.
Hmm.
This is a fine spot for you. Especially they haven't used ult, so it's very unlikely that they're gonna like hard push you in here.
Right.
So you could move towards here, and then you could even take this eventually, right?
Yeah.
There's also like no point of having more than one person on card most of the time. If
Yeah.
you see that, like a lot of times you will be the person on card because you have no mobility. But if you see that your Moira is playing on card, go find your sideline, right? What is a long
Right.
sideline for you? Where you have this, or I don't know. There's this, I guess, but this is too passive. Like the
Yeah.
fight is gonna take place. Another way to like find good positioning is to think of where the fight will take place. As you play the game, you will start to be you will be able to anticipate, right? You've killed the enemy team. It's gonna take them about 20 to 25 seconds to come back. So where will the card be when the enemy team is ready to fight?
It'll certainly be around the loop.
Around the corner, right?
Up.
Around here somewhere.
Yeah.
So having this in mind, you can come up with a few options for positions. You could play here. You could play here. You could play down here, maybe, right?
Mm.
This is like pretty close, and it's not a good angle. It's not a very good angle for you. It's a very short shotgun angle. This is
Right.
like whatever. You can get shot from high ground here, so it's not great. This is better because you have cover and a longer sideline, and this is also better because it's very open and you have cover. So I would
Yeah.
prefer this position or this position. So that's how you think, right? You can either do this during the game, which is the hard version, or you can take 15 minutes of your week and go into a replay of a map that you either uh, any map that you want, and like stop stop the the replay before the fight starts or as the fight ends, and think where could have I positioned myself to have a better chance of winning this fight or doing more damage or landing more cooldowns, right? Because this is lazy.
Right.
You're just sitting on card, and
Yeah.
you're also not reacting to the queen pushing. I think that's a waste because you've already slept her. If you shoot her once, she's gonna fade away. If
Right.
you nade her, you trade 2 cooldowns for 1. I would rather you sleep the Moira and nade the queen. Because if you nade the queen, I mean, maybe your team's gonna burst her down or something, right?
Right.
So, nade prevents aggression, through aggression. When you do damage to people, you like scare them, so they have to run away.
Yeah.
That's why Awkward cares so much about damage. Is damage gets you kills, but damage also makes the enemy team not deal damage to your team. So you're like passively healing, you're indirectly helping your team, you're indirectly healing your team. So whenever an Ana player asks me, oh, I have like equal numbers of damage and healing, is that bad? Or it's contextual. If there's nothing to heal, then do damage, because you're not going
Yeah.
to heal a full HP tank or whatever, right? Doing damage prevents people from being aggressive. I mean, not too much to talk about here. They used ults. We didn't have any ults. You could have been here and you could have pressured the Mercy earlier, right? Maybe you get a kill on the Mercy by shooting her. Maybe you get a kill on the Junkrat. Maybe you sleep the Moira. And I don't know. I mean, the Para goes on her and kills her. It's like you were just in a bad position all this time during
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
this fight.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I'm up here, I can also see my team better.
Yes,
Right. I
yes.
can't see
And
anything
you're
right now.
also another important detail is that you never really want to be in the middle or like in the hot zone. During fights, there's well, I can't speak. Sorry. There's often a hot zone. So like let's say this is the enemy queen and this is our diva. The hot zone where most of the fighting will happen is somewhere around here, right? Because this is where
Yeah.
all the cooldowns are being thrown at. This is where everybody's shooting. You don't want to be here. You want to be somewhere on the edge where you're not being pressured, so you can pressure. So you want to be up here, you want to be here, you want to be, I don't know, in some different parallel universe, maybe here. I don't care, right? But you don't want to be in the middle. That's why being on card is bad, because many times the fight happens around the card to stop the card. So you don't want to be on card if you want to push the card when like there's nobody else that can push the card. But as the fight is happening, you want to move away from the card to a position that is safer for you. Because if it's safer for you, you can also like use your cooldowns aggressively, right? You don't have to use your cooldowns to bail yourself out of a tricky situation. You can just use them to win a fight. But in a situation like this, you might have to use the nade for yourself because everybody's looking at you. I don't think this fight is winnable unless you get a pick before the fight by playing the high ground. Now we're coming
We
off
did
a
not
nano.
win it.
Hmm?
We didn't win it.
Yeah. This is the same thing. You don't see anything. You don't see any enemy, so you need to start walking forward. Maybe here. And also the damage on the queen is good, but if you do have the chance, you could also walk up here, right? If you do have the option between shooting the queen and shooting the Mercy, I would much rather you shoot the Mercy. Obviously.
Sure.
It's much more likely that you will kill the Mercy. Damage on tank is often like undervalued. It's good because if you shoot the queen, she's not gonna be as likely to push, right? Or maybe you're gonna force shout defensively, but
Exactly.
But even then, like you could be here and switching between the queen and something squishy, right? If you're here, you can land a nade on the corner of the pole or whatever, right? You can land a nade here, you can land a sleep here, you can force the Junkrat back so that if you force the Junkrat backwards because you're shooting him, then your tank can walk forwards and do damage to their tank.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, as a general rule of thumb, you want to have as many options as possible. Being here and shooting the queen is fine. Being here and shooting queen and the squishies or the squishies is even better because you have more options.
Yeah.
This whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you meant to do that. I mean.
The nano?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
I mean, I'm not like, I don't know.
You can say it's bad.
I mean, it obviously is bad, but like, you know they're dead though. Like, you just killed them. What are you nanoing for?
Yeah, because
You saw the diva boostering in, but everybody's dead.
I didn't think about the fact that everyone was dead. I thought this will give us space.
Sure. Let's suppose that the enemy team was alive. Um, and I hope you don't hear the traffic outside. And the
No, I
diva
don't.
did booster up here. I would argue that it would be even better to wait for 2 seconds before nanoing her, because if she has used boosters and she's not on top of somebody, then the nano is useless. But if you nano her when
Uh-huh.
she's 1 second into, like, until having her boosters, then she can use the nano to push aggressively with her boosters.
Yeah.
It's the same. That's why you don't like. So, like, for example, let's say the fight is happening here, and your Pharah is playing here, maybe. That's why you don't necessarily always nano your Pharah here, especially if she doesn't call for it, because you're forcing her to use her cooldowns to go in. She's not in a position to
Right.
fight right now, right? If you see your Pharah like hovering here and going on top of this rock or whatever, then 100% she's in a position to do damage. She's fighting. As I said in the beginning, any target that is actively engaged is a good target to nano. If the Pharah is here, then the nano is great because she doesn't have to use any ability to start doing like insane damage, right? If
Yeah.
you uh, if you nano the Pharah here and she has to use concussion and maybe the dash to get in the position to do damage, it's like 60% more likely that she dies because she doesn't have the cooldowns to get out.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
So you just need to look at the fight and ask yourself which one of my teammates is fighting right now. If they're like committed, if they're fighting in their range, then they're a good target to nano. It's also good for you, unless it's being called, it's also good for you to like not nano blindly. You need to see that
Right.
the enemy is like there, right? It doesn't, being patient, like you should use nano, but you should also be patient. You should just look for the first opportunity that presents itself.
Right.
So this is fine because the queen is low. You added her, she backed off. The shots on the nurse are good. This is good. You're going back. You need to keep going back. Oh. Okay. I mean, that wouldn't have saved you anyway, but it's okay.
I know.
Okay, do you have any questions so far?
No, this has all been really helpful, especially
Okay.
especially with the positioning.
Do you want to keep watching this code, or would you like to swap to another code? It's your choice.
Can we look a little bit at
Defense?
playing defense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah, then I have a code on Pari, so that would be good to
My
look
phone
at.
is ringing. 2 seconds.
Sure, no worries.
Need to wait. Give me a second. Sorry.
It's okay, no worries.
So they swapped their comp a bit. They have a Bastion instead of a Sim, I think, which doesn't really change. I mean, you destroy Bastion just because you outpoke him heavily.
Yeah.
And the Weaver, which is also like, they're playing a very inoffensive comp to you. Like, you shouldn't really struggle against this comp. As long as you keep your distance, you just do more damage than they do to you. Good shots. That's like, this is an opportunity to nade because your Sigma is walking up and the enemy is also aggressively postured.
Yeah.
Yep. And she should die for that. I don't know. We need some shots. Sleep the Bastion, maybe? There's no reason not to sleep the Bastion.
Yeah.
Like, when there is a threat to you, you should have one cooldown to defend yourself. So if they
Right.
have a Genji or a Monkey or whatever, you can nade offensively, but you need to keep your sleep dart for yourself, right? But
Yeah.
if they have nothing that can really push you or do damage to you, then you can use both your cooldowns aggressively because you're not gonna need them to defend yourself.
Hmm.
You see the Bastion shooting your Sigma, you sleep the Bastion. The Bastion,
Yeah.
the Sigma rocks the Bastion, and you kill the Bastion, right? The Queen pushes, you nade the Queen. You're too far away for the Queen to push you. So you nade the Queen, and the Queen dies.
Yeah.
Things change when they're running like dive your comps, or when the map is worse for you.
Right.
And defense is also easier because I mean you just have preset positions on this map. You start up here and then you move to either here or down here, and then you move to the other corner. I mean, defense is just swapping from one spot to the other, depending on how much space the enemy team has.
Right.
That's good, Nate. Good. Sometimes, and I mean, sometimes when you are being forced out of an angle, like here, right? You backed up. Maybe you could pick through here instead of here, because
Hmm.
if they shot you on the high ground over here, they will expect you to pick back from here, right? So maybe
Right.
if you pick
Yeah.
from this different angle, maybe you like land an additional shot, or maybe you land a cooldown or something.
Yeah. I love
Just a
that.
small detail. In a situation like this, if you want to, you can go here, throw a sleep or a nade, and then go back to high ground, because it's gonna take them a long time to get to you anyway, right? So
Right.
and by the time that they get to the corner, you're gonna have your cooldown again. So if you want to really min max your, I mean, it's a small detail. If you want to really min max your cooldown usage, you could go here and try to sleep somebody so your widow kills them or something.
Hmm.
You don't have to just stay here all the time.
Right.
It's okay. Should you nano here?
Um. I don't. I don't think so.
Why?
Because the team is falling back.
Your team?
Yeah.
So what will happen when you nano somebody?
It'll make them want to push forward
Yeah.
and use the nano.
Sure. Is that bad?
If the team is good, no.
I would argue that nanoing here would be fine, because you saw shield. They use shield, right? You saw
Yeah.
form. They use 2 cooldowns. They use 3 cooldowns. So now, if you nano the Sigma and he lands a rock on the Bastion, the Bastion's gonna die because he doesn't have form, he doesn't have damage reduction, and they don't have any tank cooldowns to like mess him up.
Right.
You're at a cooldown advantage right now. So if you press this advantage, that might result in a kill, just because you have more
Okay.
cooldowns than they do.
Right.
If you like nano Winston, I mean, nano is a really powerful ult, but if you know the enemy team has sleep dart and bastion shift and hinder, maybe you don't nano your Winston in, right? Maybe this happens for Genji as well. When Genji wants to blade, he waits or tries to force out some cooldowns before he goes in, because those, if you use nano and they use 3 cooldowns to deny the nano, that's a good trade for them, because they live and they probably kill the nano target. But nothing's gonna kill your Sigma that has shield and walk and is nanoed and is like 800 HP, right?
Right.
You probably retake high ground or just push. You can retake high ground. There's no reason not to.
Okay.
You got 2 kills, or just push this guy very hard. You have 2 kills. You have numbers advantage. So you can have multiple types of advantages. You can have a cooldown advantage, which means that you're probably gonna do more damage to the enemy team. You can have a numbers advantage, which also means more damage because there's more shooting from your side. Or you can have a positional advantage, which makes it easier for you to do more damage. Whenever you have an advantage,
I was gonna say I like that a lot.
whenever you have an advantage, you have the option of pushing that advantage to get a kill. So like, for example, here, if you push the Ramatra and nade him, he's probably gonna die, he's gonna stagger, and you're gonna get more time on the clock. Or like, they will have less time. That's fine, I suppose.
Get in there.
Wait, how did he not die? Did he get form? Oh, he got pulled. It was just a bit late. The nano was not. The idea was not bad, but it should have come like here.
Yeah.
The idea is not bad though. We take high. You're too close here. This is when they regroup. You're in a fair fight, and you're not in a good position for you because you can see the enemy kind of, but this is not your range.
Right.
You have the same sideline up here, and but you have range, so that makes it safer. Also, this is a range where you should probably shouldn't scope.
Okay.
Scoping makes you. It does make hitting shots easier, but it also makes you much easier to hit.
Right.
So like here, you should be shooting, but walking backwards instead of scoping. Okay, what would be a good position for you? What could be a good position for you?
The balcony to the right.
Could be, yeah. With how you're, I mean, sure, maybe your team pushes up to the corner, in which case it's a great position.
Yeah.
Do you see any other option?
The stairs?
Which ones? These ones?
Yeah.
Could be. You could flank here for a nade or a sleep, or
Okay.
just a couple of shots and then rotate away.
And up top on that green patch at the bottom
Here?
of the screen.
Or
Yeah.
sure, could be.
A little open.
Mhm.
I generally just wait for my team to drop down and I hang out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fall down.
That's okay. This works out because you have ults, right? But this is scary for you. I mean, you have your cooldowns, but you should be careful. And again, you should sleep him. Ana is a good counter for Ram because he has no way to avoid your cooldowns or like, mitigate them. But this is easy sleep. Easy sleep. If you sleep him, he dies.
Yeah.
Because he cannot bluff.
Yeah.
Okay. You need to push book in the background.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I should walk forward. I think there's a Moira on card, right? Oh, she just died. Never mind. You should know they have Blade by this point because you haven't seen it. Blade, so playing back here is fine. You could nade. You could nade whatever here.
Mm-hmm.
You could nade this spot.
Yeah.
Playing back here is fine because they have Blade. That was a good try. Try to sleep the Ram.
Yeah.
You don't see anything. You gotta look for something, right? You see the Ram pushing, maybe
Right.
you sleep him, and he gets one shot by. If he gets slapped and rocked and frozen, maybe he gets one shot. I guess this is fine. Wait. I think you nade because you see Suzu, right?
Yeah.
You didn't really have a target, but it's okay. And when you hear the fog, this is commitment sign from them, right? So you gotta walk backwards because if you don't walk backwards in time, they're gonna kill you now. And this is where you can maybe start working forwards because your their fox is ending, and
Sure.
they've used form, and they don't have blade. They don't have a lot of ults right now. You could walk forward and nade something. Now, if you want to get really cheeky, you could hide up here with nade
Yeah.
and wait for them to walk below you and then nade them. It's good try. Keep walking back. Oh, where you walking forward? You lost one. It's just advantages, right? You lost one. You don't have any ults because you used everything. You almost have nano, right? You want to play for nano right now. So when you lose one, you need to walk forward. You walk backwards. Especially since they use an ult.
Yeah.
If you live this, it's big because you get your nano and I don't know. Maybe you need something and get a trade. Let's see. Need some. Sorry. You should nano your me here.
Yeah.
Or the signal. Okay. I had to use names for myself, but it's fine.
Freeze! Don't move!
Do you have any questions?
Do you have any advice on how to get better at tracking cooldowns and ults?
Ults are easy because there are exceptions. There are certain heroes that get their ults quicker than others. Like Bab gets his ult really quick. Tracer gets her ult really quick. But most of the time, you should expect ults. For the first fight, if you're really nerdy, you can memorize or have an idea of the damage numbers that are required for each ult. So for example, with Ana, it used to be around like 2000 healing plus damage combined.
Okay.
There is a table of values somewhere that tells you how much damage and healing is needed for somebody to get their ult. But as a general rule of thumb, for the average hero, you should expect to have them to have their ults every 2 fights.
Right. Okay.
Tracer should have her ult pretty much every fight, more or less. A Bap can get his ult quicker. A Kiriko can get her ult quicker. A Moira can get her ult quicker. But most heroes, you should expect their ults within 2 fights.
Sure.
It gets easier the more you play, and with cooldowns, so you don't have to keep track of every cooldown. You just need to keep track of key cooldowns. You need to keep track of Suzu when they have a Kiri. You need to keep track of like recall, which is easy because just you hear it, right? You
Yeah.
know they don't have recall, then you can play more aggressively because the Tracer cannot pressure you as much. Or form, because when they have form, they can start walking on you. With Ana, it's not as dangerous. Maybe a bit too much emphasis on like keeping distance from the ram, because you can really you can really ruin his day with your cooldowns, right? Back where you were playing on this corner, here, I was a bit scared, but like actually this is fine because it's very easy to stop the ram from pushing you here. It would be scary if they had ults. If they had like a rush or something, then this would be too close.
Yeah.
But you just pick a couple heroes. You start with one hero, and then eventually you get comfortable with tracking cooldowns, and you can expand or like increase the number to multiple heroes that you track. You start with one hero and you track your cooldowns. So for example, you track the Tracer. Where is the Tracer? This also helps you with positioning, by the way. Where is the Tracer? Does the Tracer have recall? If she has recall, then it's likely that, and you know where she is, it's likely that she's gonna go for you, right?
Yeah.
If you know she doesn't have recall, then you can make a decision. So like you just choose, as I said, you choose the heroes that are most threatening to you. It could be the Queen, it could be the Tracer, it could be the Genji. It's like it depends. So like overall, what we have seen is you're like defaulting main a lot. You're not thinking about the positions that can give you a lot of value by just shooting or hitting big nades.
Right.
So like, so one thing is adjusting to enemy positioning, which is not a huge. It wasn't a huge problem this game, just because the map doesn't really punish you too. I mean, it's easy to adjust your positioning on this map. It's more so something that you asked me about. Second thing is like uh, picking power positions. So like powerful high grounds, spots that are long sidelines where the enemy where it's hard for the enemy to pressure you and you do a lot of damage. Stay away from card, please.
Yeah, yeah.
And then use your sleep.
Okay.
If they don't have anything that can get on top of you, just use it.
Mhm.
And there's been a couple of things about the nano, but that's been like mostly it. Do you want to quickly look at a different code, or do you want to have any other questions?
I would love to look at a
Sure.
different code quickly.
Apparently, I got somebody banned.
Good job. All right, I just sent it to you.
Yep, 2 seconds.
Good.
Why did you choose the Rocket Royale code, by the way?
Because it felt like a good game, and everyone had lots of the stats were very high.
Mm.
Yeah.
What are you again?
Am I Nick Shadow or am Tom Rakewell in this? Tom Rakewell.
Okay.
Ready for battle.
This map is more interesting.
Yeah. This was also a close game.
Okay, cool. So what do you think? What are good Ana positions on this map? Let's say attack.
So I generally stay back. I don't go to that middle entrance.
Mhm.
Yeah, I stay back on the road.
What are the long sidelines here?
Yeah, on the road. I mean, I guess
Like-
behind the bus as well.
Sure, could be something like this. Even
Yeah.
though this is where the most of the damage is coming from. So it could be here or
Exactly.
here. As you're doing damage and they're falling back, you can go here. You eventually want to end up like here because you have
Yeah.
this good sideline, right?
Yeah.
There are very few scenarios where you want to flank around the back. So you want to try to clear high ground. This is a cool nade spot here. If you
Yeah.
nade on top of this sign,
Oh,
you
cool,
can nade,
yeah.
you can nade them behind the sign. And if you have like a dive tank or something that can push them, that's good. And then you eventually open up the angle this way. They have an Ashe and a Cassidy. So, I mean, you can duel the Ashe most of the time, especially if you get the first shot in.
Yeah.
And with the Cass, you're farming from distance. Again, they don't really have something that can push you. You can just get poked out if you're not aware of where the enemy is. That's good. And this guy's
This is a big fight.
Yeah, this guy wants to smoke.
Yeah.
You should leave him.
I know,
Your
I
team
know.
is moving forward. I mean,
This.
he's getting value because he's holding your attention.
Exactly.
You should move towards your, especially in this elo, people are gonna forget about you. They're not gonna think of where my Ana is or what my Ana is doing, right? So
Yeah.
you gotta try to stick somewhat close to them, in their vicinity, so you can help them and do damage to the enemy team. You need to like move forwards. Move towards the point here. And keep shooting
Yeah.
at Lucio. If you get isolated, he might kill you.
Yeah, I get punished for it.
Yep. I think that was melee HP, no? No, not quite. So the only mistake there was just not moving towards him.
Yep.
Good try. I would argue that they have a soldier instead of a Nash now, so that means you have an easier time shooting him, and he has an easier time flanking you. But this map is not very good for flanking. So I think that you can be here and doing damage. You can be here doing damage. You don't have to be
Okay.
scared. You're playing against the Widow here. If you see that your team wants to go right, you should probably follow them, because this is a good sideline for you. This is a long sideline
Sure.
for you. So or you could go here and nade. It's your choice, right? If you nade and the Mauga goes on you, you still have your sleep, so you can get out for free. Or you can like overload this lane. You can all push this lane, so you take top. It's either option is fine. That's a good try. I don't know how you acquire this though. Nice. Okay, you have your nade. So where should you go now?
Up the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Like this way, right?
Yeah.
And look for a nade through here.
Yeah.
No shots. Almost. We're still trying to kill the guy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I would go up the stairs now. Or maybe I don't know this. I think you should go upstairs.
Yeah.
You're the one I'm
I
pushing.
wanted to get those
carefully.
too. Yeah.
You are the only one pushing point. Okay, now we have the nano. They use Shree. We can nano Mauga. They might beat it, but whatever. So where should you be here? Not on point, remember? Not on card.
Definitely not on point. Yeah. Up in the room.
Mm-hmm. You could even be here, so that you can nade inside or on this
Yeah.
side, right? You can cover 3 angles by being here. You can pressure this. You can, like, if you shoot this guy twice, he has to use healing pad, and you can
Right.
easily LOS him. Oops, where's the? Come on. By doing this, right? So you can control. You effectively control 3 angles. You're playing like a Widow here.
Okay.
You could even be up here if you really wanted to, because you do have
Right.
some cover. It's your choice, but just not on point. Because this is gonna happen, right? They're gonna use ults, and you're in the hot zone. See, this is where everything is happening, right? You would like to be maybe where your Sojourn is, or even better, as I mentioned earlier, on the balcony. We might still win this, but it was messy.
Very.
Like, in a better lobby, you die there instantly.
Yeah.
Stop shooting the tower, please. If you want to, you can help your Sojourn take high ground here.
Right.
Right? You could be like a budget Mercy and go here, but this Mercy like shoots people.
Uh-huh.
So, like a lot of the time when your DPS make funny plays, you can be funny with them, and it's gonna end up working out.
Uh-huh.
Because right now, again, you don't need to be on card. There's nothing to shoot here, so you can just go help your Sojourn. Maybe she lands a rail shot, and you land a normal shot, and you kill something.
Right.
Doing this solo, it would be really risky. It can pay off, but it's really risky. Doing this with another DPS is a very high value, especially when you have something that can support your tank on the like main whatever path.
Yeah.
You have a Moira, right? So you don't have to worry too much about the Mauga, because the Moira works really well with the Mauga. If this was a Mercy, maybe you have to like care about this guy more. But I've talked about this before. Like with supports, with any support, you are also responsible for holding space. You're responsible for holding an angle that is good for you, right? So for you in specific with Ana, holding an angle that is along sideline, something like this, something like this. But if you do have the opportunity to hold the good angle for you, that is a +1 with somebody else, that's almost always better.
Cool.
Because you help this guy to do more. You are supporting him. Nice. That's okay, first pull. It's fine. You could deep on here. I don't know. You have your sleep, so you can go main, or you can be cheeky and go here and see if you can see something, or maybe go here. That's not on you. Just push out of your LS. Nice. Oh. This is funny. Okay, nobody can push a card. There's an argument that you like try to push here, but you just need to pressure your team a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, where should you go now?
I mean, maybe drop back a little bit to the stairs.
You could be here.
Yeah.
This is not a very good angle for you, because the fight is gonna happen on the point, right?
Yeah.
So like knowing the fight happens here, you have the time to rotate, where would you go?
I mean, I want high ground, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to get it
Well, you can go to
quickly.
here.
Ah, see, that's something I didn't know.
There's a door here with stairs that you can go up to, up on.
Yeah, I never go in here. That's why. Okay,
Well,
cool.
you did have time. This, I mean, that's why there's no textbook on positioning. You just
Right.
choose something that makes sense in the moment.
Yeah.
You don't have to drop. You could just stay here.
Yeah.
This is a very good angle for you, and you could nano your Malga maybe. Oh, too late. Like if you want to nano your Malga, you nano when the tree goes up.
Right.
Like here, you can nano your Malga, and he's gonna feel comfortable like staying in the fight instead of running out. I mean,
Sure.
maybe he would have run out anyway, but that doesn't really do anything in a grout.
Yeah.
Nice shots. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep. You can also support your Moira if you want to. If you want to do something funny with your other support. You can keep going if you want.
Mhm.
If you see your tank wants to push, you can go with them. Staying here is also fine because you have a fine angle. I mean, you don't have to go here. Staying here is fine.
Right.
It's actually, maybe it's even better because you have more cover into split angle. So
Yep.
I take that back. Same problem. Don't be on card.
Mhm.
You don't want to stagger here. If you stagger here, there's no chance of you winning. You've seen the echo, right? When you see somebody doing something, you should expect them to do it again.
Right.
So you've seen the echo fly up in the sky and try to stick you, right? So she's gonna try to do it
Yeah.
again. So where is a position that can like help you? I mean, how do you play around that?
I mean, find some cover.
Yeah. So like what?
I mean, I can head in the room right to my left.
Mm-hmm. You could also be down here.
Drop down, yeah.
Or you could just stay here and expect her. You know the cooldown on fly is about like 5 seconds, I think.
Mhm.
Or 6 seconds. It's 6 seconds, right? So you can stay here, shoot for 3 seconds, and then start aiming up in the air. Because this guy is also 3 shots to kill.
Yeah.
Right now, you should expect fly. Chase it again, right? That's how you track cooldowns.
Yeah.
Okay, she was 5. It's okay. I would actually be bronze on console. I cannot play with controller.
I tried to play on computer like 2 months ago, and I was like, oh, this is so much harder. I don't know how you people do it.
You get used to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think going from, if you have like no experience with controller, I think going from PC to controller is harder than the other way around.
I used to play on PC all the time, never Overwatch.
Mhm.
So I thought it would be an easy switch, but it was maybe because I'm so practiced on console. My ego didn't like it.
Do you think you could play even more aggressively, like playing here and then, like, you know, they don't have dive at this point. The only dive here they have is echo, right? So you could be here, play inside the room because your team is playing up, is postured up on this corner, and then if you can cross safely, you can go this way. If you cannot
Right.
cross safely, then you just drop the point and you play this passive angle.
Yeah.
Just because right now you're not really, I mean, it's not bad. You have an angle for an aid, but you could be doing more here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at the start of this round, my team asked me to heal more, and so I was feeling good
That's why
about
That's why you turn off chat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, do you think this Ramatra knows how to play Ana? I don't think so.
No, probably not. Yeah.
Probably not. Probably
Yeah.
you should probably not take advice from a plat player.
Right. Yeah.
You should.
That's
you
what I
should,
tell myself every time.
Yeah, you should have faith that you know how to play your hero.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think you could easily do like 2000 damage from where your Widow was. And you could also assist your Ramatra. This is the problem, right? They want to push past the corner, but they can't because you're not there.
Right.
Good job tracking the echo. Nice. It's fine. Oh, somebody's in spawn. I mean, the nade's good. Your may get flanked. They use 4 ults. And you live. So, what should you do now?
Rotate
Where?
back
Where?
and up the stairs.
Yep. You can sit here for a couple seconds until your nade is on like a 5-second cooldown. And when your nade is on 5 seconds, I mean, it's a bit risky because your ram might die, but you could go up here when your nade is on 5 seconds and look for a nade here.
Right.
You could also just we have Blizzard. I'm only scared that your ram is gonna push in alone and die. So if you're scared of that, because he did have the tendency this game, we've seen him a few times like pushing in alone and dying. So if you're scared of that, I understand you staying here.
Yeah.
Because they also don't have any shield, so you just pick here and nade. You don't have to flank here if you don't want to, but you do get flanked by the Fury and die. It's like. This is where you don't scope, because you get shot.
Right.
You get shot by the soldier. And these are not hard shots to hit. It's a hog, right? And you have an 8. Nice. Nice. Okay, probably retake high ground. You shouldn't stay on low ground. There's no reason to stay on low ground, just because this gives you more options.
Yeah. And more cover.
And if you want to help your team with pushing, you can be here.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
here. We waste a lot of gold, so we win. That's fine. Of course, use cooldown, so she should die. Okay, whatever. And your ram doesn't blow. The idea was fine.
Yeah.
Oi, oi, oi. These are always hard to watch. 69. It's okay.
The end of this match is tragic.
Do you see 9 or what?
No, you'll see.
Okay. Division 3, you've seen Horse like a couple fights ago, so you should expect them to have Visor and Copy.
Uh-huh.
You could stay back here with the Widow, and I think staying back here is okay, because you can help her with the Moira. The Moira's probably gonna try to push the Widow, and so you can stay with the Widow back here, and the Lucius gonna help the Mei.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
But the Ram is kind of pushed up. You're also shooting wall right now.
I know.
You did have like this is no longer a good angle for you. You don't see anything here. Not here, but in like a couple seconds. This is fine. You could like if you wanna be really nitpicky, you could be on the corner here instead of in the open, but it's not a big deal. And like at this point, you, do you think you could start going up the stairs? I don't know. Maybe it takes too long.
In this moment, I just started panicking about the wall.
Yeah. You can't do anything about it.
I know.
You're on push too much. That's okay. Do you have any questions?
No, this was so helpful.
I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
sad that I can't help you with live coaching, but
Yeah, I know.
it's fine.
Maybe one day.
Pick something that you want to work on. Go in like 2-3 games a day, maybe focusing on that, depending on how much you play, and maybe have, if you're really serious about improving, maybe have a 15-minute VOD review session at the end of the week where you go, you look at your own gameplay, and you only look at what you're working on. So, like for example, if we're working on positioning, you go to this site and you ask yourself, is this a good position? Where could I have positioned to be more effective, do more damage, be safe, while also being like safe, right? Ask yourself questions, and you might not have answers in the moment, but the more you practice, the more answers are gonna come up, right? And if you ever need help, you can also ask me. You can also send me a
Cool.
screenshot and ask me.
Great.